Now, I think that it's important for us to understand that the battle then starts, if you want to get rid of defilement out of your life, not by changing all kind of external things, but let's work on the internal. Because you see in the church, hear me now well, because this is a key point. In the church, many times, you and I, we evaluate people by what's going on the outside of them rather than, and we're very soft on what's going on the inside of people. I mean, people have bad attitudes, people have bad feelings, people have bad thoughts towards other folks. We don't say too much about that. They're angry, they're loud, they're rude, they're not courteous. We don't say too much about that, but let somebody come in with their blouse unbuttoned too low. Now, I'm not purporting that people should be showing a lot of cleavage. Let somebody come in, a man, and he's showing all the little BBs on his chest because he doesn't have on an undershirt and he's got his shirt on. Nobody wants to see all that. Yes, I did. Now, nobody wants to see all that. However, we're talking about like a dog. Let somebody have too much makeup on. Be overdoing it with the jewelry. You know, all of those kinds of things. And we'll judge somebody like that, but somebody can have a mean attitude, talk rough to everybody, say crazy stuff, foolishness. We don't say that much. And he says, listen, James says it like this: where does war and fights come from among us? Do they not come? This is the constitution of our kingdom. From our desires for pleasure that was in your members. Now listen to me. If we win the wars within, then we can win the battles without. I found out if I can get my inside straight, my outside will follow along. Are you hearing me? If I can get my inside straight, my outside will follow along. If I can get my inside straight, the outside will follow along. But when I fix up people on the outside and don't deal with the inside, I produce a bunch of actors, pretenders. They call them hypocrites. Because a hypocrite is somebody that looks like one thing out here, but really they got something else going on inside of here. So we got to work on what's going on inside ourselves. And that's where the warfare comes from. So if we win this battle within, hey man, the battles without will be all right. Now I'll learn how to button up my shirt. If I can get myself, man, listen, you are a valuable king before God. You're a dominion man. And so therefore, you just don't have to walk around looking any kind of way. You ought to dress up, fix up, look up. But that's just on the outside. But that's because I got something going on the inside. And friends, I think that becomes incredibly important. Now look with me in Romans chapter 7, just to drive home this point. Because you might say, well, you know, I know the people that are heathens struggle in this area. Nah, just not heathens. Church folk do it too. Because this is who Jesus is talking to, if I can bring it down to where the cows can eat it and bring it down to where you can hear it. These were religious folk. And Romans chapter 7 and verse number 16, Paul has now said, I've been buried with him in baptism. But he said, but I'm still struggling. Romans chapter 6, I'm buried with him in baptism, but I still got a struggle going on. So in 7:16 Romans, he says, if then I do what I will not do, I agree with the law that it is good. Then he says, but now it is no longer I who do it, but the sin that dwells in me. Now in the New Testament, the book of Romans, you will find two words. Hear me now, just get this concept. There is the word sin, singular, which is that Adamic remembrance after you are born again. It's the Adamic nature before you're born again. But it's the Adamic memory, AM, the Adamic memory, the way that you used to behave. That's why we need to renew our mind, because we still are fighting the memory. It's AM. God wants to get you over in FM, the Father's message. But we're operating in Adam's message, the Adamic memory, and that's called sin. And then in the book of Romans, you will find this word called sins, plural. Sins, your activity, come out of the sin that's in you. So he says, so there's something called the Adamic message and the Adamic memory that's still inside of me. And the renewing of the mind is neutralizing that voice inside of us.